where authentic news and entertainment meet. Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
104.7 Udala Radio.
When politics unfolds, when decisions are made, we reveal the impact. Welcome to the Polity, your deep dive into the forces shaping governance, policies, and power. From the halls of government.
You were there. I was not there. Check the record. Wait now. I was not there.
To the voices of the people.
We are suffering. This suffering is too much. It's too much. Look at the students. There's no job. They're feeling too. There's no job for them.
We analyze the undercurrents, expose the intrigues, and break down the narratives that define our democracy. Dr. Tony Olisa Mbeki delivering razor-sharp analysis, and Ebuka Franklin and Chisom on the question wheel, driving the conversation. We bring you the most compelling discussions on governance, policies, and power plays. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay ahead. The Polity, every weekdays at 9:15 a.m. Exclusive on Udala 104.7 FM Onitsha.
Okay, so a wonderful morning to you. It's 16 minutes past 9 a.m. and we are saying welcome to the Polity on Udala Radio 104.7 FM Onitsha. It's a Tuesday edition of this very show, this 23rd day of December 2025. And I must tell you that the atmosphere, the environment is already speaking to Christmas, because this very morning everywhere is quite busy. In fact, commercial bus drivers and the tricycle riders, they are making their day. They're having fun, let me put it that very way, and the roads are blocked. I don't know where you are coming from. I don't know where you're listening to us from right now, but I can speak about Anambra State, basically our nature. Everywhere is quite busy, roads are quite blocked. In fact, if you have your private vehicle, it might require you even to park somewhere and try to make use of commercial vehicles for you to be able to advance to wherever you want to get to on time. So this is the atmosphere now, and this is the feeling, and it's all about Christmas, which is a matter of days, 2 days now. The day of the festivity is going to be upon us, and guess what? Everybody is going to be in that festive mode. If we are not already in that festive mood, because for me, I'm already in that very festive mood. The radio is already in that festive mood. That's why there is the raffle draw we are going to tell you about later in the course of this very show. My name is Franklin and Ebuka. Good morning, and I'm not alone this very morning. I'm with Dr. Olisa Mbeki on this very edition of the Polity. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Franklin, Ebuka. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the good people of Southeast. Good morning, Ndi Anambra. Good morning, Ndi Onitsha Donido. Good morning, Ndi Osumohu. Good morning, everyone under the reach of our voice. Not forgetting our brothers scattered all over the world who are in different places at different time. Those in Pacific Ocean, America, Europe, and some parts of Africa. We acknowledge you are listening urgent, but we do what we know how best to do. And today is 23rd of December. As usual, everywhere is busy. It's a beehive of activities here in the commercial city of Onitsha. The roads are blocked. Most roads, major roads are blocked, and you can understand the reason. People are trooping to main market Onitsha, Ose Okwodo or Chanja market. People are trooping to these markets to make last minute purchases. We know we still have tomorrow, which is 24th, before the Christmas. If today's like this, we wonder what tomorrow will be like. Many people are preparing for the events, because there are those who have events lined up this festive period. It's going to be different events: housewarming, child dedication, traditional marriage, wedding, and what have you. Even also and chieftaincy title taking. These are things that are coming up this period, and then it's a wonderful whole lot of seasons here in Anambra State. But we know what? We must implore God Almighty to always guide us as we do what we do here. Remember, we are in the sanctuary to profess the truth, and then we'll keep you updated as far as any national development is concerned. You are welcome.
Okay, so Sunday, what do you think is the reason why we always have people making last minute purchase? Somebody told me that it depends on when the money comes in, and somebody will tell you that it depends on when an event is around the corner. So this issue of usual last minute purchase, which is always made by some persons, is it that it's a culture? We want to wait until when the season is around the corner, or just that this particular event we're going to do we're supposed to make purchases for it on a certain day?
I think it's a combination of the two factors. One, the availability of money, and at the same time being a cultural thing. And if I must tell you, those who are in civil service, I guess they may have received their salary today or yesterday. So if that be the case, some of them will use that money to make purchases. Not that they have not made some. You know one thing about Christmas, there are so many things you have to buy. You have to buy food items, you have to also buy wares, and you have to also make other preparations. So in the case of wares, they may have bought these wares, but remember, food items are perishable. There are ones you can buy and keep. There are ones you can buy, process, and keep. There are ones you have to make last minute purchase for you to also optimize the whole natural content of that very food item. So it is a combination of different factors. But there are those, I know many times, many people make purchase for wares around November. But there are those who also want to make around this period because they want to add to the ones that are bought. One thing is certain, human beings are insatiable. There are people who have got one, they want to add more, they want to add extra. It goes on like that. That's very quest, that very push. You know, when you see the whole trend, you would like to join the bandwagon, and we have preached against bandwagon effect. Look at how the roads are very busy. If you are not that type that have self-control, you may even want to spend your last card on wares. Remember, after Christmas comes January.
Okay, so after Christmas comes January, and of course, we have to tell you some of the developments in the polity, because if you look at Anambra State, between Sunday and Monday, we have had a couple of events. Of course, the governor of Anambra State launched the country club in Oka, and yesterday, the wife of the governor, had a Christmas party with children and adults in orphanage homes, and gift items were shared. In a Boeing state, the wife of the governor was able to secure a release of about 25 inmates in the season of Christmas, and she said it was done as part of her Christmas outreach. And then it gets to the national level where the federal government spoke yesterday. I don't know whether I should say that it was end of year press conference which was granted by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, talking about Mohammed Idris, where he talked about a couple of things. He talked about the controversial tax law, which we know that there's allegation that the version gazetted is quite different from the version signed by the National or approved by the National Assembly. He also spoke about federal government change of strategy in dealing with issues of banditry, kidnapping, and what have you, where they have decided to brand kidnapping an act of terrorism and is going to be treated like a terrorist activity. Then he talked about other things happening. Of course, today Nigeria is going to play Tanzania in AFCON, and the coach of the Tanzania national team, the Taifas, he's been talking, saying that of course they respect Nigeria, but they're not going to fear Nigeria. If they're going to get a win today against Nigeria, it's going to be for them like they have won the AFCON. And there are so many other developments in the polity you might want to catch up. So if you want to catch up on all these things, you have to listen to this very program, because we have all of them already lined up for this conversation. So if you are ready, let's go to tell you what the papers are saying. Okay, so we have 4 newspapers as usual. We have The Nation, Vanguard, Guardian, and the Punch newspaper. So begin with the headlines we have on The Nation newspaper. The better headline says federal government no going back on tax law from January 1st. Gains of Tinubu's administration by Information Minister Idris. That's the better headline on the front page of The Nation newspaper. Another headline there says U.S. to partially suspend visa issuance to Nigerians 18 other nationals from January 1st. Check page 3 of the Nation newspaper. We have another header that says a freed Niger pupils, teachers received by governor. CDS applauds troops courageous in security operation. That's another story on the front page of the Nation newspaper. And then this one says 2027 APC set to bounce back in Kano as stakeholders endorse Tinubu for second term, Barrow for governorship. Federal job seekers to undergo drug test. Check page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Court halts Kwanwan's motion on Awujale. The story is on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. And from there, we go to the next newspaper, which is the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, so on Vanguard newspaper, we have the banner headline says Gazette Furore, we didn't alter tax laws, FG. The story is on page 5 with plenty of riders. Ads, it's NAS affair. What we didn't pass can become law. Lawmakers, senators, reps sit down over controversial alterations. All that. ADP right group demands thorough probe. Like I said, the story is on page 5. You can check that story out. Then you can see a picture story on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper with a title, Release Papiri School Children with Governor Bago. You will see them dressed in different attires. Another headline says diplomatic spat with US on religious violence resolved. FG. It has a rider. Ends ambiguous treatment of terrorists, outlines 2026 roadmap. The story is on page 8 of a Vanguard newspaper. Insecurity, Oyo Ogun, Lagos launch joint task force to fish out terrorists. Check page 10 of Vanguard newspaper. Dust over conferment of Yoruba chieftaincy titles. Check page 7 of a Vanguard newspaper. Then about the nameplate, capital importation declines 62% to $1.113 billion. The story is on page 19. ADC, Tinubu's 2026 budget buries next generation in debt. ADC, Tinubu's 2026 budget buries next generation in debt. The story is on page 9. Trump recalls U.S. envoys to Nigeria, 20 other countries. Check page 9 of Vanguard newspaper. And the headline on page 6 says U-Tide, Southeast bound commuters battle extortion, bad roads. Is on page 6 of Vanguard newspaper. Then on the sports column, we have this one that says ahead of AFCON opener, Super Eagles static on FIFA CAF rankings. Check page 32 of Vanguard newspaper. And with that, we conclude the headlines on the front page of Vanguard. Next paper is The Guardian. So over to Guardian newspaper, let's see the headlines. The front page headlines: in real estate investors wary as demolitions flatten over 2,500 houses. The story is on page 6 of Guardian newspaper. Federal government introduces new emergency passports. Check page 3. FG defends new counter-terrorism doctrine, pledges strict rules of engagement. The story is on page 3. U.S. conducts surveillance flights over Nigeria as Trump threats. Or rather, U.S. conducts surveillance flights over Nigeria after Trump threat. The story is on page 2. If you check the very story, it tells you that that people who track flight movement, they've been able to track that that this surveillance plane by the U.S. that comes into Nigeria from Ghana, perhaps trying to gather some security information that might help U.S. to do a certain work. Okay. See, another headline here says that troops kill 17 Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists in Borno. Check page 9 of Ghana newspaper. Bago receives 130 rescue school children in Niger State. The story is on page 30. FG mandates dope test for federal public service applicants. The story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Another headline says tax row escalate as groups allege altered law call for mass action. The story is on page 6. Lagos unveils 800 million naira LSSTF headquarters. Hails Adebutu's donation. The story is on page 7. And you see the picture of the governor of Lagos State, Babaji Sanwo-Olu, beside that very story. Next is Punch newspaper. So on Punch newspaper this very morning, the banner headline says autonomy battle. LG's demand direct funds as states receive 7.43 trillion naira. The story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. It has a rider. LG's allocation surged by 42% in 2025, 18 months after LG fails to implement Supreme Court judgment. Beside the nameplate, killings, U.S. conduct surveillance flights over Nigeria report. The story is on page 19. Then you see a picture story of Tony Elumelu alongside the picture of Andaman on the front page of that author of this very newspaper. And the other headlines you see here: contract revisions cost FG extra 929 billion naira. The story is on page 2. U-Tide, police tightens security, FG declares holidays. Check page 19. Oil earnings fall short by 16.2 trillion naira. The story is on page 9 of the Punch newspaper. Kwangwan loses bid to block Awujale selection process. Check page 7. And the last headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper says U.S. launches $30,000 leave voluntarily immigration plan. U.S. launches $3,000 leave voluntarily immigration plan. The story is on page 7 of Punch newspaper. So these are the headlines we have this very morning on the front pages of the 4 newspapers we have brought to you. Don't forget that you can share your thoughts on these issues by going to our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Get interactive there. Share the video and at the same time drop your comment. Don't forget to add your location, and as well, if you want to be identified with another name apart from the name you be on your Facebook page, of course, do well to add that. We are going to acknowledge it. Then live on our YouTube and the Instagram handles, we are Udala Radio. Get on YouTube, subscribe to that YouTube channel. It's very important so that each time we drop a video, you'll be able to get a notification and be able to watch. Okay, so we're going to switch now and now get into the analysis proper so that we see the issues for what they are. Stay with us.
You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, thank you for staying tuned to the Radio 104.7 FM. You are listening to The Polity, a program on newspaper review and analysis of major topical developments in the polity. My name is Franklin Ebuka, and I'm with Dr. Olisa Mbeki this very morning for us to do the analysis and look at the issues this very morning as they appear on different pages of our various newspapers. Now, Tony, if you look at the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, you see a story there talking about the hardship, the extortion that many commuters who are coming to the southeast for the Christmas have to endure in the hands of policemen, other security agencies, and then the bad roads they have to endure for them to be able to come home and share Christmas with their loved ones. Now we'll begin with one leg of it, because the one leg of it is about the bad road, and then second leg is about what security agencies do on the road. Now, it's understandable that during festivity like this, the police tends to increase surveillance. Police tend to increase roadblocks as security measure. So that is understandable. But what we might not understand is why, as police is trying to increase presence, then the policemen who are deployed for this very duty, they are trying to increase their pocket, not necessarily doing what they're supposed to do. I will share a story with you of what happened. That should be on Saturday. We were going somewhere and with a vehicle loaded with different kinds of goods. The vehicle was fully loaded, and guess what? When we got somewhere, the driver said that he had to, look for 200 naira notes so that it would be easy for him to, once he gets to police checkpoint, he'll be able to settle policemen and go. And guess what? He was able to get 200 naira notes. The moment we got to any of the police checkpoint, he would just dish his hand into his pocket, bring a 200 naira and give to them, and the vehicle will pass. None of them bothered to ask the driver, whose property were you carrying? Now look at these ones who are coming for Christmas. They said they suffered extortion, delays. This time around, not just from the police, even from community people somewhere in Edo City, where youth have mounted roadblocks, and they were collecting money from these very promoters before they can make use of the access road in their community. How do we explain all this?
We have a complex situation here, and these things are man-made. They are as a result of corruption. They are as a result of weak institutions. They are as a result of a lot of mismanagement going on at different levels. You talk about bad road, you talk about police mounting surveillance, and at the same time becomes an opportunity for them to increase their pockets, according to the way you put it. Look at, I think Pastor Tommy was saying that he boarded, or he was coming from Lagos to Asaba. He spent 15 hours on the road, and that 15 hours, if you look at it, it means more than 12 hours. So if he had started the journey around, say, 5 a.m. in the morning, and then around 5 p.m., that's about 12 hours. So it will escalate into the night. It's as a result of bad road, according to him, that the roads are terrible. And I've said it many times, if you go to Asaba, I don't know if they are doing repair works, but if you look at Asaba Benin Express Road, it's in a terrible situation, terrible condition. And if you go straight to other roads, especially the roads in Southeast, deplorable. Onitsha Were, deplorable. Onitsha Enugu Highway, if not for the one lane we are making use of. And then if you also talk about Enugu to Port Harcourt, and these roads have different spurs, no doubt. It's a terrible situation. And this is a country that sells oil, exports oil, makes so much money from oil, yet it cannot fix its roads. It takes years for roads to be fixed. This is a country that prioritizes individual offices, running cost, overhead cost, appurtenances given to legislators, given to governors, given to members of judiciary as against national infrastructure. The masses suffer, people suffer, but those in government enjoy. The three tiers of government: the executive, the legislature, the judiciary. They have their offices well covered, well protected. They have cars they change either yearly, bi-yearly, or once in 4 years. They have all the allowances given, dispensed with. Now, if you look around, the people they govern, they sit on their matter. They can't go through, without hardship. They pass through this road, but they cannot, because they will make use of flights. They'll have to fly from any location to another location. Do they face what people face? The answer is no. Who are those who are facing this? Those who they sit on their matter, those who they govern. It is pure inversion. It's absurdity. Those who are meant to be servants are now the kings, whining, dining. Those that they are to serve are there gnashing their teeth. So it is just a complex situation. That's the mentality. That is the tradition. I don't know who foisted this tradition on us, but that is the truth. And the situation whereby every time the country will be busy talking about taxation, people will ask, what are these taxes used for? Remember the last time we were on this show, I did say that Nigerians are not averse to tax payments. They are only averse to tax accountability. Accountability also means and also implies, what are we doing? What are we achieving with the taxes being paid? If you look around, most governors have convoys stretching to many vehicles. President, the same thing. Leadership of the National Assembly, the Senate President, the same thing. The Speaker, the same thing. And if you look at these things, look at the roads, look at the hospitals, look at the schools, look at some of these assets, infrastructures, look at the standard, and look at where we are. So now tell me, if you look at all these things, what will you say? And the country will be pressing, pushing, pay your taxes. Do we pay these taxes for us to make you to live larger than life? For us to make you to add to the ones you have got? For us to make you to acquire more properties? We are these critical things that we should be looking after. I've said many times, let's criminalize non-investment in these critical areas. If we cannot invest and improve our roads, if we cannot invest and improve our electricity, if we cannot invest and improve our education or in schools, if we cannot invest and improve our hospitals nationwide, as we should do with expectations and targets, those concerned, either for those making the laws, those making the release of the funds for these things, and those monitoring to ensure that these things are done, they all should be committed to prison for failing to do their job. Until we have such kind of legislation, things like this will continue. People steal public funds, wasted. If you are talking about the former NNDPR boss, Dangote revealed that 5 of his children are outside the country in Switzerland. And look at the kind of schools they attend. Look at the kind of feeding. Look at everything about them. Look at the kind of ward they have. Their father, who is here in Nigeria, appropriate as much as he can and send to train his children and give us excuses. It is so with many public servants. Those at the level of permanent secretary, nobody is a small person. None of their children could be found anywhere in Nigeria. I'm not talking about governors, because governors, their own, in fact, it's beyond our imagination. We are talking about those at level, at director level or directorship, as we call them. Those as permanent secretary, even at the state and the federal level. But the money the country makes revolve around these people. It revolve. And look at the budget we are talking about, 58.18 trillion. And we've talked about this budget. How much is left for infrastructural development? Poultry, 23 trillion. And these 23 trillion, let me say this, not because we have a deficit of such amount of about 23 trillion. That's the deficit for the budget. But if you look at it, they will concentrate on recurrent expenditure, paying some of these things, allowances, remunerations, and so many of these. Neglect the infrastructure. Infrastructure is the last when it comes to development. They consider all these, their allowances, their everything. They consider those things as priority first. And if nothing is left, nothing is given for infrastructure. It's a trend. It has been on from year to year. So,
Tony, how do we begin to establish a chain of responsibility? Because in governance, appointments are made by the chief executive to help him in running the government, because because he cannot be everywhere. These appointees are the eyes of the governor or the president, depending on where they come from. Let's use Anambra for instance. Anambra has commissioners, SAs, PAs, and what have you not. And all these people are expected to be the eyes of the governor in different places where they come from. Now, for the presidency, the same thing applies. We even have ministers coming from different states and other appointees of the government, all coming from different areas. And all of them, they either pass through these very ways, interact with the people, they tell them what they need. So if we're going to hold people responsible, are you going to hold those appointed to say that they do not convey the needs of the people to the president, or that the president is aloof, he does not attend to the needs of the people, in as much as we know that we have a myriad of problems that cannot be fixed in a day? But something needs to be seen for people to feel that government is there for them to take care of their needs. Because just imagine whereby you leave Lagos coming to the southeast, and you have spent about 80,000 naira on transport fare, but because of the bad road, you are forced to go and book a hotel and sleep somewhere and then continue the following day on that journey. How terrible has it become for that? As soon as fixing the roads is now a luxury in Nigeria.
It is a luxury. It's actually a luxury because these people you mentioned, they are not interested or concerned about the welfare of common man. Even the constitution that says security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Go to section 14 subsection to be of that very part of the constitution. And that is not justiceable. You can't go to any law court and demand these things, because the constitution under section 6 subsection 6c provides that all these fundamental objectives as contained in chapter 2 shall not be brought before any court of law. Is there in your constitution. So you find out that those who wrote the constitution, the framers of the constitution, they are living in denial. They are in cohort with all these people, all these things we are saying. They are in partnership. They make things the way they are. And he gave the politicians, those who were appointed, the leeway. Not that if we had gone to court that something would happen, but let it be on record for generations coming after this our generation, that our fathers challenged this, but look at what was the case. We have nothing on record. So it is more like a leisure for you to steal public funds. It is a leisure for you not to use money for some of these developments we are talking about. It is even more pleasing in their eyes. If you don't do that, they will refer you as mumu. If when you commit to do something like that, they will tell you, those around you will say, you don't even know what's up. You don't know how these things are done. It has become a national culture. What is a culture? People's way of life, belief, value system, dressing, language. That is culture. Culture is a broader perspective. It has become a tradition for those in government, because tradition is a subset of culture. See, let me say this. Until we say no to this madness and anomalies, nothing will change. China said no to that. And today, go to China. China is the manufacturing headquarters in the world. In fact, anything. United States have many companies there doing manufacturing work. A population of about 1.3 billion people. But they are not starving. They are not hungry. They are not as poor as we are. They keep manufacturing. They keep pushing out. They keep in any way supporting their citizens. Look at their number. Look at their roads. Look at their airports. Look at their facilities. Look at their schools. They even give us money in aids, in support. They learn. See, we have a problem here. And for them to steal a public fund, is a crime, not just against humanity, but a crime that attracts capital punishment. Why did they introduce capital punishment? Because over the years in the past, it was steal as you can. Steal as you can. And they looked around and said, for this country to move forward, we must introduce something. And they so introduced it, it has been working for them. Now, money meant for public use, money meant for public development must be strictly used for that. Any person you employ into any office, what comes to the person's mind is how to use that office to make money to acquire wealth. That's what comes, not to render service.
Okay. Now, let's get to another headline, because if you look at the Gather newspaper, you see a headline that says federal government mandates mandatory dope test for federal public service application. And the story is saying that the federal government has introduced a mandatory pre-employment drug testing for all applicants seeking position in public service as part of broader efforts to combat drug abuse and its impact on national security and productivity. This directive was conveyed in a service-wide circular issued on Monday by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to all ministries, departments, and agencies, including extra-ministerial department and parastatals. They were directed to incorporate drug screening into their recruitment processes and make it a core condition for the recruitment of new personnel. NDAs are required to partner with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, to conduct the test, ensuring compliance with established standard. Tony, what do you think about these developments, that anybody who is going to seek for employment into civil service must go for a mandatory drug test? They said this is the only way we can follow if we are going to combat the issue of drug. How do you see this very move?
It's laughable. It's laughable. We are somehow concerned about symptomatic approach. We don't want to approach the root cause of problems. We don't want to tackle the problems from the roots, but we want to tackle the problems from the symptom aspect or from the symptom perspective. The root cause of the problem is corruption. This recruitment we are talking about, there are some recruitments done in this country without we don't even know how these things are done. How many times have you heard about recruitment in NNPC, in Central Bank of Nigeria, in some of these oil companies? The kind of recruitment we hear is in immigration, police, army, and not just that, even prison. These are some recruitment we hear, and possibly these are ones meant for the Kalatalawas, the masses. They will go and do their work as prison warders and do their work as immigration officers. I'm not in any way denigrating this kind of job. Because there are people who have built themselves in those professions. They have become who they are as a result of the services they put in those professions. But I'm saying we must find equitable way of doing things. As we hear about this recruitment in these professions, can we also hear about recruitment in CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, in ministries, parastatals, agencies, MDAs as we call them? Can we have these recruitments open? Because if you go in there, you find out that they have shared the quota, the slots for recruitment in those areas, and have assigned it to highly placed individuals, those who are where they are in the society. They distribute it among themselves. Nobody hears and nobody talks about drug tests for these people. The people they talk about drug tests, they are for those who are going into these areas I mentioned. Is that the case? Why can't anything recruitment be done on merit? Pure merit. Where there is absolute transparency. If exams are conducted, it will be done in the open. Result coming, you see your score, you know what you score. Can they give poor man, son or daughter chance to be something in this country?
So you think that this move to inculcate drug tests into the screening is of no use? It's not going to help in any way.
How is it going to help?
Trying to curb the incidence of people taking illicit drugs.
You have not dealt with the issue of how drugs get into our communities. You are concerned about those who are going into employment, drug tests. Once the drug, if you conduct that drug test for those who are going in, are you going to do it periodically? Because if somebody decides to avoid taking drug because the exam is coming on, yes, the person will maybe not take drug. By the time he goes for that exam and passes the exam and then passes the drug test, he goes back and continue with the drug. What effort have you made to curb such situation? You have made no sense of yourself. Because that's not the way to go. Can we ensure that we plug in loopholes through which drugs circulate in our communities? It has changed. We have drug peddlers.
So how do we deal with the issue of those drugs we know that they are not illicit, but young people have found a way to make it illicit? Take for instance, we know certain kinds of drugs like tramadol, the cofflins, and we have in this very world. Those drugs that normally they are used to treat one ailment or the other. But young people have found a way to mix or combine different kinds of drugs used for positive development now, to the point that once they take it, of course, they become what they call the most high, so to say.
Well, if they want to become the most high and then be in cloud nine, as they usually say, is for them, it's left for them. Because why these things happen is because we have not done most of these tramadol. How do they have access to these tramadol? If tramadol is being abused, as we have observed, because it is used for pains and other related humans, and you find out that it's been abused, or some people go on to adulterate it or mix it up with other drugs to give them the kind of thing they want. What do? As we have National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, it's within their own jurisdiction to come up with a policy on how tramadol will be distributed. Have they done that? We are then not the same set of people that we are accused of collecting money just for registration, because you invaded their drug wares or drug warehouses and you discover that they don't have certain facilities, and you feel that the best way they will have those facilities will be when they pay such kind of amount of money, even without any assurance or guarantee that such facilities will be procured with that money paid. Just pay into that account, you'll be allowed to stay. And has that solved the procurement of that facility? It has not. And when people try to question such impropriety, they will take offense. Tell me institution that works as expected in this country. Tell me one. We are busy chasing shadow. This is a country where shadow means so much than the substance. Nobody wants to talk about substance. Everybody is busy chasing shadow for optics, to give impression that we are doing this, we are doing that. At the end of the day, you end up doing nothing.
Okay, all right. So we have to go for a commercial break at this point in time. Once we return, we get to another talking point. Stay with us. You are listening to Udala Radio 104.7 FM.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM.
When the city sleeps, the river remembers. When the drums call, Onitsha awakens. This December, the call grows louder as Udala Radio joins forces with the Golibe Festival 2025. From December 26th to New Year's Day, the heartbeat of the East comes alive. Music, laughter, art, culture, and the unstoppable joy of homecoming. This year promises more energy, more color, more connection. A festival for every proud son and daughter of Igbo land. Stay tuned to Udala Radio, your front row seat to the celebration that never fades. Golibe Festival 2025. Exclusive media support by Udala Radio. It's not just a festival, it's who we are.
Your investment is just one drop. On its own, it can only do so much. Now, imagine a million more drops. This is the power of First Asset Money Market Fund and First Asset Dollar Fund. They pool your money with others to create a powerful flow, giving you access to great earning opportunities. Call 0201-889-4444 now to start with 5,000 Naira, $100 or more. Let us build wealth together. The First Asset Money Market Fund and First Asset Dollar Fund are registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission Nigeria. Please read the prospectus and where in doubt, consult your investment advisor, stockbroker, fund or portfolio manager, accountant, banker, solicitor, or any other professional advisor for guidance before subscribing.
Christmas on set like concrete when them just pour. Udala Christmas raffle don't land for Golibe Festival. Hey! Just 1,000 Naira per ticket, and if you work at enter our studio, make you shout your loved one's name live for radio.
I just want them to say I love them well. My baby, I love you, die.
You want to know how you go take be part of this? It is simple. Just buy your ticket for Golibe Festival ground. Come our open studio and boom, your voice go to fly enter everybody radio. Better things there for ground where you feel win. 43-inch Hisense TV, refrigerator, aux fans, and plenty goodie bags. No dollar. This Udala Christmas raffle draw they happen on the 30th of December 2025. If you want grab your ticket sharp, make you call 0803 350 4206. 0803-350-4206. This Christmas, buy for yourself, buy for your people, because Udala Christmas raffle, everybody gets something inside. Supported by Nolin Ventures Limited, Onitsha.
Golibe, Golibe, Golibe! Onitsha, are you ready? The festival is here. And this year, Kate's Associated Industries Limited, manufacturers of Dubai antiperspirant deodorant, will show up, not just to turn up, but to turn up fresh. December 26th to 31st, Chuba Ikpeazu Stadium will be hot. Street carnival, dreamland for children, masquerades, high life nights, full December cruise. But please, do not let enjoyment get you caught on fresh. Get Dubai antiperspirant deodorant, the roll-on that holds the body, holds groove, and hypes December. Golibe Festival, proudly supported by Kate's Associated Industries Limited.
Please listen to this important information on your good health. Do you know that many deaths nowadays are caused by ignorance on drug abuse? Do you know that many males and females now resort to the consumption of unhygienic concoctions for the treatment of various diseases? Do you know that some even take their lab results to traditional healers for interpretation? Now listen, abuse of scientific or traditional drug destroys the body system mechanism and it kills. Consumption of expired, adulterated, substandard and unpasteurized traditional herbal mixture could lead to health complications. So detoxification of the body and restoration of the functional organs is always necessary for your good health.
This message is sponsored by Anti-Drug Abuse Incorporated Headquarters, Annex Sunshine Hospital, number 4 Obanye Street, Onitsha, Anambra State, Nigeria. 08033206819.
Drug abuse is an enemy to your good health. Be warned.
Join Anti-Drug Abuse Health Education every Wednesday by 8:45 a.m. on Udala Radio 104.7 FM Onitsha.
Merry Christmas from all of us.
Udala Radio
104.7.
Now the Christmas day sweet past. Let's go. Bells they ring for the street tonight. Children they dance on the Christmas light. Mama they cook jollof, aroma they rise. Yeah. For they smile, joyfully miles. Don't know they for body love they warm. Afro be breathing happiness don't come. Oh. From Onitsha city to every home. Now celebrate giant food is on. It's a Udala Christmas. Oh, oh. Everybody gather make we jollof. It's a Udala Christmas. Oh, oh. Turn up the music, make it go. Udala. Christmas day sweet for Udala Radio. Up the tree, let it shine, let it shine. Love for the season, make we share, make we bind. From morning to night, Udala hold you tight. Now Christmas magic, pure delight. Udala, Udala, Christmas day sweet, oh Udala, Udala, feel the beat, oh. From all of us at Udala Radio.
Merry Christmas, wetalanye angole no bioto. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all of us at Udala Radio 104.7 FM, the voice of the region.
Of course, we are tuned to the radio 104.7 FM. You are listening to the Polity, and of course, we just played you that our Christmas special song to celebrate you on this very Christmas. So, as we are getting in the spirit of Christmas, of course, we have something special for you that we need to tell you about. It's about Golibe Festival, and we are proud to let you know that Udala Radio 104.7 FM is an official media partner with Golibe Festival, which of course is going to take place over 7 days. 7 good days that this event is going to happen from 26th of December to 31st. And when we talk about 26th, of course, Otezewaka is a matter of days now. Of course, today is Tuesday, being 23rd day of December 2025. So I want to Igwa second day, third day, fourth day. Next is 26, and it's going to be Golibe Festival from 26th to 31st. That's when this very event is going to happen. And Udala Radio is an official media partner of this very event. That tells you that event work no. So what are we saying? What are we talking about? Why are we partners with the Golibe Festival? It's because there's a lot for you to enjoy this very season. If you want to have fun, if you want to have the time of your life, if you want to have good time with your family, of course you have to be available at this very Golibe Festival. There are highlights of events and activities that are going to happen across these very days I talked about. I mean, between 26th and the 31st of December, there's going to be live festival coverage from the venue, and this is going to be done by Udala Radio. Of course, when you get there, you're going to see Udala Radio branded tent, which is going to be activated. Then we're going to be there for an on-the-spot audience engagement. What that simply means is that if you want to see any of us, if you want to interact with any of us, if you have questions for any of us, get there. We're going to be there, and definitely we're going to attend to the questions you are going to raise. And there's going to be Christmas shout out and messages dedication. If you have that special Christmas message for your friends, for your partner, for your well-wishers, for your relatives, of course, bring them on. That customer Nabaga Cafe for a long time. Of course, you can spare time. Come and wish the person, give the person a very special Christmas message and Christmas greeting. Of course, that is going to be there to package it for you. Then there's going to be raffle draws. Giveaways are going to be there. Then fun interactions are going to be there too. All to be provided by Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Guess what? Music, culture, food, games, and daily entertainments, they are going to be there. Boku. If I feel that if you get Nukana, there's no need going to Shokoto, because what you're looking for Shokoto is Ide for Shokoto. Alright? Now, it's very, very important that we have to you have to know that Udala Radio is going to be there. So all you have to do is for you to visit the Udala Radio tent at the Golibe Festival venue and make shout out to your loved ones, families, friends, well-wishers, business partners, and what have you not. Now look at the deal there. This year shout out are going to be played back on radio, so that is going to have to spread the Christmas cheers across the airwaves. Plenty package for you. So we are asking you to make a time to be at this very event. Of course, get to the tent of Udala Radio, get involved. Let's see how all of us can together make this very time a very memorable Christmas celebration. Okay? It's going to be very, very important. Don't forget, Udala Radio tent is going to be there for you to make a shout out and be part of the live broadcast and the festive experience that we are going to have on that very day. I also need to tell you something about this same Golibe Festival, which I have told you happening between 26th of December to 31st of December. Apart from Udala being the official partner, media partner, if you get there, rice and chicken go there plenty. So we have to share it together. Okay? Just come there. Kai kon gajineze or they can make something. Okay, obukani bonyo to bolonyo nwa ebulu aroba alobam ibiakwa na I know two by the side now. Aloifa na alo now. So all of them join. So this very festival is complete family experience. If you're a child, no worry, something there for you. There is a children's arena for that very day where kids, they can just go there, play all while the parents have some time, get to relax, enjoy themselves. At this very season, sometimes parents would like to relax. No market around the corner, so you can bring your kids. Of course, they'll have their own time while you take your time to unwind and relax. Then there's going to be chill zone. This very chill zone, you're going to enjoy good food, meet people, spend quality time with family and friends. You know about networking, right? Of course, networking is so good because today there's what to call social currency. Social currency can take you to the next level if you didn't know. So this is the platform you can explore to be able to build your social currency. Then when it's time for the evening, of course, there's going to be a vibe. There's going to be some kind of changing vibe. We're going to have a special music night that is going to light up the festival with amazing performances coming from different talented artists like Jerick, I don't know if you saw Jerry Kinenugu 2 days ago when he performed at the Roadblock. Of course, he's going to be here in Onitsha to give you that vibe he's known for. Dremel is going to be there, Mayor King, and many other. They are going to be there to give you this very special music. Now, make I even tell you too about this whole thing because I get some freebies that are going to be there. So from now till the end of next week, Udala Radio is giving out free Golibe Festival tickets every day on Cherry Box. Cherry Box happens from 12 noon, and then High Life Highway happens from 4 p.m. So on these two platforms, free tickets are going to be given out on this very show. So you can tune in into this very show, listen, and find a way to win your certificate without spending any cover. All right. Then on the day of this very event, when you get to the festival ground, please don't forget to look for Udala Radio tent. It's going to be there. And like I told initially, that what you have to do is to walk into the tent, make a shout out to your loved ones, your family, your friends, business partners, and what have you not. And then your shout out is going to be played back on radio because we want everybody to hear that your Christmas message. Guess how it's going to be that now somebody now baga kafia there's negative na radio no can akpafia na so and so kwasi kenea not na akafia na akafia na agbaya no the kemma no obi. You know how it's going to be that you are somebody who patronizes you gets to hear his name being celebrated by somebody who is into business with. So that's going to be good if you're going to do that. And if you're looking for where your family is going to go and relax. When I talk about family, I mean the parents, the children, the extended, the nuclear, what have you not. It's Golibe Festival. That is where you're going to come and have all these things. There's going to be fun for children, relaxation, music, and like I said, other things added. So Golibe Festival is that very place where you can go and get all this very fun. And guess what? Udala Radio is going to be there right with you to make this very Christmas a memorable one. All I'm telling you is that this very Christmas is going to be very, very memorable, and the only way we can make it fitting is all of us if we join hands together to build this very memory. Okay, so thank you for taking this very message. Of course, we have to switch back to the Polity on Udala Radio. Stay with us.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
Of course, you are listening to The Polity on Udala Radio 4.7 FM. It's 12 minutes past 10 a.m. My name is Franklin and Chisom with Dr. Olisa Mbeki. On today's program, we are bringing you analysis on some of the developments captured by various newspapers this very morning. We told you about the experiences of those who have been traveling to the southeast for them to share Christmas with their loved ones, the experience in the hands of policemen who engage in extortion, and then bad roads. We also told you about federal government mandating that anybody seeking for employment into civil service is going to undergo a mandatory drug test to know those who are into taking off illicit drugs and what have you not. Now, let's talk about what government of Nigeria also disclosed yesterday. I'm talking about its stance on terrorist activities or in certain kinds of crime that have now been branded as terrorist activities. We'll tell you that now. Okay, so I think let's take this very story from the way Guardian captured this very story, because Guardian is saying that the federal government has said that Nigeria's security operations will be conducted in strict compliance with globally accepted rules of engagement as it confronts terrorism and other criminal threats. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made the assurance at the end of the year press briefing held at the Nikon Luxury Hotel yesterday, responding to concerns surrounding the new counterterrorism doctrine, which classifies all armed groups operating outside state authority as terrorists, including bandits, militias, armed gangs, and their enablers. Idris said Nigeria was prepared to defend itself while observing the highest procedural standards. And there's a quote which I want to lift before we get to the analysis. He says, Nigeria has to defend itself as a country by observing the highest standards of procedure. All our armed forces are trained and have been collaborating with their international partners, and they are following strict protocols of engagement with terrorists. We must commend our armed forces for observing that, he said. Now, if we're going to summarize all have been said, it is that government of Nigeria has now taken a stance by formally classifying kidnappers and violent armed groups as terrorists, which seems to be a move that represents a significant escalation in the country's response to abductions, attacks on farmers, and violence targeting local communities. This very thing we are seeing is like a departure from the way we have treated mass abductions, mass kidnappings, assault on rural communities by different kinds of people. And now people have been reacting. They are saying, with this classification that government has done, what is it going to change in the fight against all these violent arms? Is it going to change anything? And some persons have been arguing that government has no power to classify a group as a terrorist group, that the only thing that can do that is a court is the one that has the responsibility and the power to classify any group as a terrorist group. Tony, what are you thinking?
I've said it many times that if we do not do things properly, we keep making impression to appease the optics. I don't know the statement credited to the Minister of Information, whether he was making those statements to appease United States of America and Donald Trump that we are doing something. We are not in any way going to be taken aback. You don't classify any armed group, kidnappers, for whatever reason. You don't just classify them as terrorist group by mere statement, by mere vocal outburst, by mere proclamation. No, it doesn't work that way. They are not what the minister said they are because he has pronounced them so. No, the minister is not the National Assembly that will work out the legislation. The minister is not the president that will assent to the legislation. The minister is not the court that, when the Attorney General of the Federation takes some of these groups to court for such proclamation, for such thing, the court comes on to do it. There is a process to some of these things. So, first and foremost, the National Assembly must come up with their legislation. Was it not the same Attorney General of the Federation who was making statement that capital punishment should not be meted out to kidnappers? I think he made a very statement with the NBA and other civil liberty organizations, you know, in support of that statement. That is, by the way. First thing first, National Assembly must come up with a list. It's good that he has given us the intention of the federal government. Mr. President said it while he was making budget presentation. He made that very statement. So what Idris has just said is to re-echo what Mr. President has said. But I'm just saying that it is not done by mere statement. There should be a legislation which the National Assembly is packaging. By the time they're done with legislative process, we are armed groups, any armed group at all acting outside state authority will be classified as terrorist group, terrorist network, terrorist organization, whatever name. The Mr. President has to assent to it, and then you have to take it to the court for court to make requisite pronouncement. So that is just that, because any armed group is an omnibus statement. You must name them by the way they are, whatever name they operate, how they operate, whatever identity they wear. You must get to court to pronounce them and then treat them as terrorists, as the case may be. That is the way it has to be, and that's the way to go about it.
No, but by mere formally record or formally classifying or designating some of these very groups as terrorist organization, do you think it's going to change government approach in dealing with them?
How can it change an approach when you don't have the legal framework? If you arrest any kidnapper, which law are you going to try with? Do you have a terrorist or terrorism law that says that the kidnapper is? You don't have. See, the issue is, let's do things rightly. I've always said it many times. Let's do things the way it should be done. It's good that they have made intention known. Follow up the intention with necessary steps and actions. It's not about making formal this, formal that. It takes you nowhere. And I've said it many times, these things are more of shadow. Let's get to work. We saw where schoolgirls were released to Governor Bago. How many terrorists we arrested? How many of these kidnappers were arrested? And you are telling us what you want to do and how you have classified these people. But negotiation took place. We don't know the nature of the negotiation anyway. The abducted students were released. Nobody knew, because before they could be released, something must have parted way. And you are telling us you are classifying these people. Can you be classifying these people while you are going on with negotiation? It is hypocritical, antithetical, opposite. It doesn't work that way. Let's be real. When we tell Nigerians, this is this, let it be that. If we say we are standing here, let's stand there. I thought about building trust the other day. I think it was 2 days ago. They need to build trust between the government and the governed. I say so much about it. It's a process. You must act.
No, Tony, if you're asked to identify the groups that fall within the classification that the minister talked about, would you name names?
You may, if they don't have name, they may not have a name. We are general kidnapping names. But you can use their location. Kidnappers operating within this period, and you can also relate to what the last incident that relates to them. If they don't have them, we are them name. We are one for them. In a way to identify them. Because if you say kidnappers everywhere, fine and good. But you don't go to court and say kidnappers everywhere. But the thing is this, I don't know. The thing is, we can understand what government is trying to. Yes, we can decide to call kidnappers terrorists. Yes. Proscribe them. Yes, no doubt. But we need the legal framework for that. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, so let's look at under development, which is what the federal government spoke about, or what the federal government said that concerning the furore that has greeted the version of the tax reform law, which was passed by the National Assembly. Of course, it's no longer news that we have had this very furore, which claims that the law that was gazetted and made available online is not in tandem or is different from the one that was passed by the National Assembly. Of course, it was a House of Rep member who raised that very concern. Since then, it's been burning like fire. But yesterday, 2 government officials responded. The chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Tax Reform, Udala, he spoke about it. If you ask me to say exactly what he said, I might not be able to say because he failed to address the question headlong, because the issue is that there is allegation that there are 2 versions of the law in circulation, and for him, he said he hadn't seen the version signed by Mr. President, so he wouldn't be able to compare. Then also going through the statement which was also issued by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, I'm trying to see where he spoke to the fact. He also spoke in the manner that Udala spoke about. Certainly, their responses, do they address the concerns of Nigerians?
It did not. It did not, because everybody is trying to be economical. When the chairman, the tax reform committee, says that he hasn't seen the one Mr. President assented to, which one has he seen? And the one he saw, what is contained in the one he saw? Everybody is trying to play safe. There is no doubt. That's exactly what I observed. Everybody is trying to play safe. So no, he hasn't addressed the issue. Why someone has made an allegation that we have discrepancies, we have two versions, one as legislated by the National Assembly, the other one as assented by Mr. President and published by the Ministry of Information. So these are the two versions we are talking about, and he was able to point out things contained in one version not legislated. Even he didn't mention clause by clause or section by section, but he was able to point out the generic features of the one as published by the ministry. So nobody has taken responsibility. Nobody's speaking.
So would it be fair to give the government a benefit of doubt by asking Nigerians to wait for the conclusion of investigation by the House of Reps for us to now know the true state of things?
Of course. You know, when would the investigation complete? Right? Concern is the tax law which is going to take effect on the 1st of January. Today is 23rd. And we have just 8 days. Because if you are 7 days, that's what we have. From now, if you take off today to 31st, that's 7 days. You just have a week. So, can something take effect when we don't know the one we're operating with? Which of the laws are we going to operate with? The one as legislated or the one as assented? Because definitely going to be the one as assented by Mr. President. Because the one legislated is not even law. The one assented by Mr. President is the law. So if there are discrepancies, if there are versions, these are things that have to be corrected early enough. Early enough. So there is a confusion there.
Okay, so let's quickly address this very headline, which I know that some persons could have been excited by. That very headline that says, killings, U.S. conduct surveillance flight over Nigeria. That's according to the report. Because the report is saying that, let's go this very way. The U.S. has been carrying out intelligence gathering surveillance flights over large areas of Nigeria since late November. This according to flight tracking data and current former U.S. official. This report was actually credited to a Reuters news agency, and the report is saying that the surveillance flights signal closer security cooperation between both countries in the time of heightened diplomatic tensions. Certainly, nobody has claimed authority over this very report, but from people who have been cited, they are saying that they've been observing this U.S. flight, flying in from Ghana into Nigeria, trying to pick up information that can help in the fight against counterterrorism. How do you look at this very development?
Just like I always say, these things are for optics. Yes, we see flights and then people are talking. Has Nigerian government told us what is going on? Has U.S. government told us that they are doing this? These are complaints or statements coming from people, their own observation. Until the government's involved, the U.S. government makes statements, Nigerian government makes statements, that will be when I will make reactions to that. But for now, what we've seen is hearsay. And hearsay takes me nowhere or takes us nowhere. We don't know what is what. If statement comes, we don't question the statement, probe it, verify it. That's what we do. But none has come.
So for now, it should be confined to the realm of speculation.
It's speculation.
Now, but if it does have to be true, would that gladden Nigerians have that Trump is coming as they had hoped?
It's not about Trump coming. It's about killings stopping. That's where I'm concerned. It's not about Trump coming. I'm talking about let insecurity be defeated. If it's going to come anywhere, how? My concern is the results. See, if Trump comes and it didn't stop, so the furore about Trump coming at the end of the day, insecurity is still there. What sense does it make? It makes no sense. The concern should be what we must do to stop insecurity. If it is true U.S. assistance, it can only gladden our hearts when we see the results. The coming of the assistance will not gladden my heart. What will gladden my is I'm seeing insecurity stopping. Let's be serious minded. Let's focus on results.
Okay, let's go for commercial break. After the break we're going to open the phone lines for you to join this very conversation. Don't forget that the phone lines remain 0803-221-6973 or 0803 827 6694. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread, for your family breakfast. Wendy's bread, I'll pack it on the Tozialo. Wendy's bread, Mama, Papa, they like Wendy's bread, kitchen and duo. Wendy's bread, even children, they like Wendy's bread. Wendy's bread, and in town. Wendy's bread, you get it better, tasty, we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread, Wendy's
Wendy's bread, tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, Second Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza at Tani Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread.
From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Anambra, the rhythm returns home. This December 28th, Oka will breathe in rhythm and shine in gold. Lagos Jump Off 3.0, the homecoming edition, featuring Annie Dons Onyetaka, Ilblaze Jarek, Mr. Raw, Slow Dog, Charles Okwacha, BB Ninja, Ivata, Diamond Okechi, Eaglet Davidson, Casey Kubana, MC Monica, Aboifi I Go Talk, Slim Sherry, Waga, Ejai Kwamba, Go to Onitsha, Hype Man Extraordinary, Harry B, Hype AO Machine, DJ Fresh Omen, DJ Alonso, DJ Spin Daddy, DJ Factor, DJ Fabuloso, VVIP table 3 million naira, VIP table 2 million naira, regular table 1 million naira, cocktail table 300,000 naira, standalone or walking guest 150,000 naira. For reservation and inquiries, do call 0913-484-4336 or +1970 258-0990. Lagos Jump Off 3.0, the homecoming, December 28th, Anambra State.
This event is proudly packaged by CNN Entertainment. Be there.
Public notice. The governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR, has set up an ESCO committee for the recovery of all government land at Otumoye Creek, Onitsha, in Onitsha South local government area of Anambra State. All persons purportedly laying claim to all those parcels or plots of land located at Otumoye Creek, Onitsha, are by this notice requested to submit the following documents to the Office of the Commissioner for Lands. 1. Allocation letter. 2. Certificate of occupancy. 3. Building plan approval. And 4. Any other relevant documents conferring ownership of such plots of land to the individual. All documents are to be submitted in 2 sets within 14 working days from the date this notice was first published. No submission will be received or attended to after the expiration of the said 14 working days. Signed, Mrs. Nkiru Mokwe, Esquire, Permanent Secretary for Commissioner for Lands.
Ụbọchị dum jupụtara n'ọtụtụ ihe omume mana ego gị nọ nkịtị ebe ọ dị. Ọ bụrụkwanụ na nrụsị ọrụ ike dịka ị na-eme, kwụsịlata n'oge a, mee ka ego gị rọrụ gị ọrụ. Sonye n'amụma First Asset Money Market Fund na First Asset Dollar Fund ma nweghachita ihe dị mma. Jiri naanị $500, $100 wee malite. Ngwa kpọọ akara 0806-494-5838 ka ị malite ịmụba ego gị. Ka anyị gbakọ akụrụba anyị ọnụ. Edebanyere aha First Asset Money Market Fund na First Asset Dollar Fund n'akwụkwọ ụlọ ọrụ Securities and Exchange Commission, Nigeria. Biko gụọ akwụkwọ mgbazi oluso ya ma ebe ọbụla ị na-enwe obi abụọ. Kpọtụrụ onye investment advisor, stockbroker, fund maọbụ portfolio manager, accountant, banker, solicitor maọbụ onye ọzọ ma ihe a na-akọ ka o duzie gị tupu ịmalite.
Are you ready to live above sin? Are you ready to walk in victory? It is Ebo Evangelical Mission presents the International Holiness and Power Camp Meeting meeting December 2025. Theme, more than conquerors in Christ. Romans chapter 8 verse 37. Ministry, Pastor Olufemi Olukoya and other anointed servants of God. Come and connect yourself to Jesus Christ. Become a genuine child of God. Receive power for holy living. Receive the fire of the Holy Ghost. Be healed from sickness. Be delivered from satanic bondage and prepared for the second coming of Jesus. Date, Wednesday, December 24th, 2025. The camp opens at 6 p.m. and runs till Sunday, December 28th, 2025. Venue, it is Ebo Evangelical Mission Testimony Ground, Savoy Junction, Oka Road, Onitsha, and Rivers Campground, it is Ebo Evangelical Mission Spirit and Life Power Ground, Kilometer 6 East West Road, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. In Christ, you are more than a conqueror. It is Ebo Evangelical Mission. Jesus is Lord.
Christmas on set like concrete where them just pour. Udala Christmas raffle don't land for Golibe Festival. Hey! Just 1,000 naira per ticket and you feel like I enter a studio, make you shout your loved one's name live for radio.
I don't want them to say I love her well. My baby, I love you, die.
You want to know how you go take be part of this? It is simple. Just buy your ticket for Golibe Festival ground. Come our open studio and boom, your voice go to fly enter everybody radio. Better things there for ground where you feel win. 43-inch Hisense TV, refrigerator, aux fans, and plenty goodie bags. No dollar. This Udala Christmas raffle draw they happen on the 30th of December 2025. If you want grab your ticket sharp, make you call 0803 350 4206. 0803-350-4206. This Christmas, buy for yourself, buy for your people, because Udala Christmas raffle, everybody gets something inside. Supported by Nolin Ventures Limited, Onitsha.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, so you are listening to The Polity on Udala Radio 104.7 FM. It's 10:36 a.m. and we are ready for us to open the full lines for you to join this very conversation. My name is Franklin and Ebuka, and I'm with Dr. Olisa Mbeki this morning on the show. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. I can also to share your opinion on the issues we have raised this very morning. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ogidi Dada.
Good morning.
It sounded a bit down this morning, but one can, like my mind was going after you. Where's my lady? You see, sometimes certain things happen in this country that makes us mad. My name is Odasi. I'm calling you from Udala State. When I say mad, I mean M-A-D. Allah. Look at us here. Tax. Some people in the assembly said they discussed tax. Some people in the assembly said he was gazetted. Some people said they were not sure government officials of the one Mr. President brought in for us to use. And years ended. We got just a few weeks ago. What exactly does the president want us to do? You present a budget, no tax law following it. This is of irresponsibility. It is. It is an aberration in any democratic setting. What do you want to operate your budget with when there are no tax laws? We all cannot be fools at the same time. I keep blaming the fourth estate of the rain to come up because these people in the legislature are not helping issues because they don't know. So simple as that. The fourth estate should come to guide and guard them. We all cannot be stupid at the same time. What's going on here? What is going on. It's not fair on
Okay.
the citizens of this country. I'm for the surveillance, air surveillance, and all that. So what?
All
Is
right.
it that we don't have mechanism? We don't have the staff? So say, oh, they are doing so in Nigeria. Don't panic. Don't we have people to do that? We're supposed to have satellites? Yeah? Everybody is talking, oh, travel is flying everywhere. They are coming to carry us, and the poor people are busy panicking. These Nigerians.
All right.
Let's say sorry
Thank
for
you.
ourselves for a thing. I respect our country. Have yourself a blessed day.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining the conversation this very morning. Don't forget that 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. These are the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning, Franklin.
Yeah. Thank you for calling.
And good morning, Mr. Olisa Mbeki.
You're welcome.
I believe Sumi is not around. I'm Mario Sugar calling from Onitsha.
Go on, Mario.
Talking about the chairman that is in charge of tax in Nigeria. Based on what Mr. Frank said, that the man, when he was interviewed, that he said that he has not seen the one Mr. President signed, the law. It's an embarrassment. That man should be ashamed of himself, whether he is pretending or what. He cannot be the third Nigerian. This is what you will work with, starting from 1st of next month. Today's date is 23rd. And you are telling me that you have not seen law signed by Mr. President. It is a lie. That is why I hate this country. They are not even afraid of flying to the citizens because they believe that nothing will happen. Shameless, all of them, shameless people that we call our leaders. They will claim that they are leaders, ruling us by fire, by force, telling us lies that we cannot do anything. This is an embarrassment. This cannot happen in Western countries. You will come and tell your citizens that I have not seen. If you have not seen this, who? Is it me that we see it? Honestly, I don't believe that man and what he's saying. And I don't like when they are lying to us with boldness. You are starting with this law on the 1st of January, and you are telling me that you have not seen it. It is a lie. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Mario, for joining. Don't forget, we also live on our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You can get on that platform, drop your reaction. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, your name? Go on, sir.
Franklin and Dr. Olisa Mbeki. Very good morning.
You're welcome.
Yes, talking of that operation and that very important revelation, the one that have made the revelation. You see, when the ugly side of it, this appointment, lopsided appointment. We have 3 tribes in Nigeria and the other peoples too that are made up of Nigeria. As you look at the appointment of every critical area in Nigeria, now it is only one tribe that is controlling the whole thing. So this is what you will expect. They can sabotage, they can do whatever they like, they can cover up without anybody saying anything about that. It is very, very bad in Nigeria. If it is Igbo man that is in power now, that is at the high, the top now, that makes all this kind of appointment, I think Nigeria will be on fire. So, the president keep doing it. I don't know whether he still remember that we have law in Nigeria. This federal character principle, that is it only in writing? Is it in writing? Because if you look at the appointment, even when he made a new appointment, everything is all about Yoruba. Buhari did it, and now it is some of Yoruba, and they are doing it. But to bet you me, if Igbo man become the president of this country, if he try this kind of thing, Nigeria will be on fire. And even the Igbos themselves will condemn that person. But look at what is happening now. Because when they do it, they have a way of covering up all this tribal sentiment and
all right.
going on without stop in Nigeria. It is very
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Let's see who we have next here. Don't forget the phone lines are there for you. If you can't get through the phone lines, try to use the Facebook platform and get interactive. Let's get to have your input into all this. 0803 221 6973 0803 827 6694. Those are the phone lines you can use to get across to us this very morning. Hello, good morning.
My good people in Udala FM.
Yes, good morning. Your name?
Yeah, may the peace of God be with you and all of us in Jesus' name. Amen. Compliments of the season.
We wish you the same.
We will be happy. Now, that is your brother, Omeli brother Antigo. I'm calling from Obro in Imo State.
Go on, sir.
You have given us some things to look into and see and say how we see them and what they will be to us. One of them is tax reform, and the other one is about branding some people what has been branded this time. Let me start from that brand. I had wanted to congratulate the federal government. My conscience says it shouldn't be a thing of congratulation because we all know so simply as a word that terror means doing things that will make others to suffer because of whatever you have as your power. That is terror. So someone who does that is a terrorist. We don't need to go and brand them or never rebrand them. The truth about what is here is that I am completely disappointed all the time, right from the administration's was from Buhari's administration. When we see the people who will do the right thing, doing what they will do because they may be afraid of those who say if you do this, it is against us, or any attempt, it is against us. Then we just continue to be doing all these things. We name them terrorists. What have they been doing? Is that not terrorism? That is not our need from you. Fight against these people because their fight has turned into negotiations, into dining and whining, into settlement. And you are still trying to tell us you are there to be answering a good leader. Others will call you. I am telling you that you see, the seat has every seat has expiration date. Yeah, the seat has expired. There's no more any wants to fool. You can't receive the person anymore. The person may be enticed because he will give the person something. Internally, he knows or she knows about our tax reform. Go and reform it as 24. With this type of leaders who are more interested in looting, if they're looting with impunity, then we have we don't do anything good with this thing.
All right.
That will be punished more.
Okay. Thank you.
More.
Thank you.
My brother, let me go to the last order. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining the conversation all the way from Imo State. Okay. From our Facebook page, we have a couple of reactions there, which we are going to acknowledge. Ugochukwu Frank says people are literally saying they would rather spend 1 million naira to fly than spend an hour on these roads. Looking at Patotomi's 15-hour ordeal, you can see why. When airfares are astronomical and roads are broken, you realize the average Nigerian is essentially trapped. It's a national emergency that only happens every December without a solution. Thank you, Gochuku. Let's see who we have here. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, please do us this.
Can you hear me?
Yes, do us this very favor by walking away from your radio set.
Okay, my name is Prince Johnson. I'm calling from Onitsha.
Go on, Miss Prince Johnson.
Can I go on?
Yes, you can go on, sir.
Thank you very much for your program. Like our Stazi said, I'm disappointed with our country. Take the issue of terrorism. Since the days, the regime of good luck, that's why we started having these people. When it came out of the mouth of Mohammed Buhari, who was aspiring to lead the country and eventually had the opportunity, that he will make the country ungovernable for good luck, and he did that. That's the base of terrorism in this country. And from that time, how many years his regime went? That of what do you call him? President APC went, and then Tinubu came. Up till now, we've not gotten a law to challenge the act of terrorism. We are still legislating on it. Meanwhile, millions of Nigerians have died out of terrorism. Billions and trillions of naira have gone out of Nigerian impoverished citizens into the hands of terrorism. Then Nigerian soldiers, a lot of them are destroyed by terrorism. When you watch some pictures over the social media, we see how they are lined up ready for attack. And this will come from nowhere, and destroy all of them. And up till now, they have not gotten a law to challenge that act. I'm sick of our country.
All right.
I returned not long from Canada. Things were much better, and so it is in most other crimes. Why should our own remain like this? And sorry, Dr. Mbeki, I would have wanted to know your own position, even though it could still be a speculation that President Trump said this and Tinubu said that until you hear from both of them. But I'm waiting for the time to hear from what's your own position on the issue. You are a knowledgeable journalist. Anything I can label you a technocrat. Tell us your own stand so that we will know.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I have a lot to say, but let me stop here. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Let's quickly run to our Facebook page and finish the post we have there. Arinze Ijimboye from Baran Fan Settlement. He says, this is Christmas and we have been waiting for it. Both security personnel on our roads and drivers, they have increased transportation fare, even though the price of petrol remains down. So let the police and other security agencies collect their own from the drivers. He says we both are doing ourselves. Anyway, Arinze Iji is a poor man. It not concern me. Okay. Mazinwori Chikwadoromusnachi says, I have a question, which is, can the wife of any executive governor of a state facilitate the release of convicted inmates? Is it constitutional? I think he's referencing that story that came from a Borno state. You can see it on various newspapers this morning. In fact, it was even reported by News Agency of Nigeria. Warrior posted from that Onitsha. Oko Young Lake, I thank you for watching and the wishes. So, compliment of the season to you. Ugochukwu Frank says Nigerian politicians need the drug test the most. The way we are being ruled in this country suggests in all ramifications that these rulers are always high on drugs. Only drug addicts take loans to squander on drugs. Only go back to borrow again. Okay, thank you, Gochukwu Frank, for dropping by. So, Tony, I think we have to address maybe two questions. The one that came from the caller, and then the one that came from the Facebook page, asking if the wife of a governor has any power to facilitate release of inmates.
I think the wife of the governor, I understand your concern, has no power to release inmates. But what she did was to pay fines for those inmates that have been released but are still in custody as a result of fulfilling their release conditions, which could also mean paying money. There are many people currently in prison. They have been released. They have option of fine. There are those that they have been given sentence. They have option of fine. So if they don't pay the fine, they will still remain in prison. So what the wife of the governor did yesterday was to go and pay those fines. So in making such payments, she has facilitated their release. They have been given sentence. Anybody can do that. Not because she's the wife of the governor. There was a time I saw a wealthy man, but the social media publication had it that he went and released prisoners. The issue was that he went to pay for those that were released with option of fine. So he went. You can do it. You that called in, you can do it. You can go to prison and ask them, I want to release those who have option of fines. You'll be given their list. Once you make the payment, they'll be released. So, no. But I understand. Let me quickly say, it is only Mr. President, the governor, in federal offense, the governor, clemency, that's prerogative of mercy, is only the president that can, grant prerogative of mercy. Then the chief judge, because we also allow the chief judge can also release prisoners, which is also in accordance with the law, the chief judge. But those on awaiting trial, because the chief judge can just go in there and see those who are, they are not prisoners. Those on awaiting trial, they are not prisoners yet. They are on awaiting trial because for one thing or the other, their trials are being stalled. He can go there and release them and ask them what did they do, and then he discover release them.
Okay, so let's take 30 seconds to respond to the question he was asking about. Okay, in as much as you would like to hear from either the U.S. government or from the Nigerian government before you can speak on the veracity of the report in the Punch newspaper, he said, but what's your view on Trump's involvement in Nigerian security matters?
I said it during the analysis. I said, my view is very clear. I want killings to stop. I want an end to insecurity. If it's going to come through Trump assistance, I'll be so happy. Very happy. But I'm not going to celebrate because Trump is coming. I'm going to celebrate because he has stopped or is stopping, or there are signs showing that these things are reducing. I said he's doing the analysis.
Okay, before we go, we have to bring you this message again because it's very, very important we bring this very message. So that's why we have to get you on this at this point. Okay, so we are bringing you this very information about Udala Christmas raffle draw. Of course, you might have heard about it for the first time, or this might be the first time you're hearing that. But Udala has a Christmas raffle draw, which is going to open you to opportunities for you to smile home with a fantastic gift and prizes. All you have to do is that I have to make available 1,000 naira loan, and you'll be able to enter into this very raffle draw and start a chance of winning fantastic gifts as big as a refrigerator. Okay, so you have that very one. Of course, the prizes to be won in this very raffle draw include 43-inch television, a refrigerator, standing and rechargeable fans, goodie bags, and lots of exciting surprising prizes. This raffle draw is going to hold on 30th December 2025, and the venue is going to be Golibe Festival Ground. We had told you that Udala Radio is a grand media partner of Golibe Festival for this very year. So all you have to do is for you to purchase this raffle ticket at the Golibe Festival venue. The raffle tickets are going to be available at that very place. You can also welcome to Udala Radio to purchase your raffle ticket just with 1,000 naira. Of course, you stand a chance of winning, gifts as big as a refrigerator, 43-inch television, which if you go to the market today, of course, you know the price of all these items in the market. Okay, so what we are asking is to allow Janku, make use of this opportunity to use 1,000 naira and win yourself a fantastic gift this very festive period. And of course, I will highlight it again that it's just for 1,000 naira alone. You can win 43-inch television, refrigerator fan, plenty goodie bags, many more sweeter prizes. Okay, for you to get your ticket, you can go to Golibe Festival Ground or visit our office at number 5 Okono Street, DMGS Onitsha, or you can call a certain phone number for you to get this. Now, if you're ready, if you have your biro or if you have your phone ready, I'm going to call the phone number now so that you can take note of the phone number. The phone number is 0803 350 4206 080 335 04206. I hope you've been able to take note of that very phone number. You can call the number and be able to book your ticket for this very raffle draw. Of course, this big raffle draw will happen live on 30th December for Golibe Festival ground. Okay, there's going to be no story. Just take it to the banks that is going to happen. Okay, so if you buy your ticket for Golibe Festival, that same ticket can give you the chance to do a free shout out on Udala Radio to your people this very Christmas. Just imagine, say, you get one babe way the eye, and they can't do shout out, can't give and say, that's also and so the great time. You don't know, say, go sweet time, of course. So, this is opportunity for you to surprise that's your babe, that's your papa, your mama, your guy, your whole squad, the Alabama, Onyo Bodogi. It's time for you to surprise them. Just tickets for 1,000 naira, of course. You can get this in done. And I must tell you, no dull moment. All right. So we thank every one of you for listening today. Olisa Mbeki, of course, we thank you for being around. And every member of the team, likewise, all our listeners, thank you all for always being there for us. My name is Franklin and Ebuka. Good morning, and thank you for listening.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
When the city sleeps, the river remembers. When the drums call, Onitsha awakens.